But I'm so happy to have these two gentlemen here because when I worked at the National Treasury, I worked with the National Lottery Board quite a bit and know about their problems in distributing all this money. I don't know if it's going up or down since I left Treasury, but Professor Nevhutanda is here today. Am I saying your name correct? Nevhutanda. And he is the chairperson. He will tell us a little bit more about where he comes from. He's from Limpopo. And tell us why Limpopo is such a problem lately. But we will leave it all to him. And this is Surgeon Nigel, who is my contact person. He's a PRO, Public Relations Officer for the National Lottery Board, which distributes about 6 billion a year. 2 billion a year. Oh, my maths is very bad, so I don't know anything. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. I don't know whether I must stand up or I must...
No, it's up to you.
You can stand, you can sit, you can lie down, as long as you give us a talk.
Okay, okay, maybe let me stand up.
Whichever way you're comfortable.
My name is Alfred Nevhutanda. Well, obviously, the first name that I was given is Chilezeni. Alfred, I just got it from school. I didn't know what it meant. And I just let me call myself Alfred. Nobody called me I am born and bred at Limpopo province, the part which is known as Venda, just 70 kilometers away from Musina. I'm not younger anymore. Next year I'll be celebrating my 60th birthday. Sometimes when I'm moving around, they think, oh, it's one of the who is around 30, 35, 40. Well, I didn't provide my short synopsis of who I am, but I can just say I'm a person who studied like any other person, primary school, secondary school, but then from then I didn't have money to go to school to further my education. After matric, I decided to do what we call distance learning until I got my first degree with the University of South Africa. And in 1989, I don't know, I think I was one of those who broke the record of registering 17 higher education postgraduate modules and passed them in 1 year. I also did honors in education, masters in education, a doctorate in education, and I went back to the University of Pretoria. I did my honors in music education, masters in music education, doctorate in music education. I also went to Menkosa, professorship, as you all aware, you don't go to school in order to get a professorship. Institutions looking at yourself, feeling that you can partner with them, they confer such a degree. So mine was conferred by International Eco-Energy Academy of the Republic of Azerbaijan in Baku. That is the former Soviet Republic country, which was, by then it was Kyrgyzstan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and the like. So I went there just to move around, looking at the behavior of gas, the behavior of environment in the Caspian region, which I ended up knowing that area, and they conferred a professorship. I'm no longer lecturing. I'm into business. I'm the chairperson of the National Lotteries Board. I'm also an executive director of Coal of Africa, which is a mining company, and I'm also a chairperson of the Transactions Committee of the Johannesburg Company Property, which owns all the buildings and land of the city of Johannesburg. So I'm the chairperson who is responsible for making sure that they are leased, you sell them and the like. I'm doing this on behalf of the mayor of the city of Johannesburg. Here today, I just want to share with you what is this animal called a national lottery. Sometimes you confuse it with lotto. Lotto is a game. A national lottery is an entity. It's an entity of the state that has been created somewhere by the Act of 1997. So we were established to regulate the game of chance. So usually I tell people when they are playing lotto, they are not gambling. They are doing what we call a game of chance. You may win, you may not win, but you are not liable just to stand in front of the machine and buy tickets and buy tickets. Usually they just people just buy one ticket and go. So it's a game of chance. We regulate these games for the operator. The first license was given to Utingo as early as the year 2000, and then from there Utingo operated until the government, together with the board, decided to advertise another bid, which was that time was won by Gidani, which is the current operator, and the Utingo was booted out of the business. Right. Why national lottery? And why do we have to regulate this kind of business? Well, it is, as I said, although I can't say it's not gambling, but ever since the dawn of the democracy in South Africa, some of these things, horse betting, everything, farfi, whatever, most of them were not properly regulated, and the state felt that it is better to regulate it in order to generate an income of some kind. And in the case of lottery, like any other country in the world, what Lotto does is that it brings back to the state what we call proceeds or money for good causes. So, as the board, we regulate, the industry or the operator to bring money to us also to make sure that they comply with the law of the country. So the money that they bring to us, we put it in the trust. It is a trust fund. That's why sometimes when you walk around, you see NLDTF, National Lottery Distribution Trust Fund. It is the fund which is controlled by the board, and it is the fund that that is appropriated. In other words, the cake, you cut it into pieces and give it to distributing agencies. Those are the entities that sit around and look at applications and make sure that they distribute the money accordingly. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. We make a lot of money. I'm proud that every week, yesterday, which is Wednesday, so it means the operator, electronically transferred the money, 34% of the sales on Friday, sales of Saturday, and sales of Tuesday. So all in all, it's a fat check, I think. I used to say, I'm proud to run a business that every Friday you don't go to Machoni, you don't go to money launderers or police to say, hey, go and look after them so that they bring money. So it comes automatically. In fact, the number is known, is calculated even before you think of maybe putting another one in the back pocket and the like. So that's the money that is put in the trust fund. The distributing agencies look at the projects that are coming from non-profit organizations, non-governmental organizations, community trusts, and many other organizations that are not for profit. So they are the ones that identify the project. Now, there are three sectors where we believe this fund is responsible for the development. That is the charities, the entire non-profit organization. I think 3 weeks ago we had a summit somewhere in Boxburg, where plus minus 2,000 NPOs were there crying, we are not getting money, hey, we need to get money from NDA, we need to get money from Rotary and the like. So that is the first category, the charities which are mainly involved in home-based care, old age homes, a lot of things, and even some of the projects to empower women and some of the projects that empower the people with disability. Now, the second sector is arts and culture, national heritage, and environment or tourism. Your Freedom Park, your Apartheid Museum, and the like. Those are entities that come and say, we want to do heritage projects, we want to do festivals, and I'm sure you know. Maybe you also lamented when we funded youth festival, the one that I'm told they were kissing each other. Yeah. I wasn't there, but the person that I asked, somebody who phoned me, and I think he didn't phone Session would have answered him nicely. So he said, but Prof, are you confident that you did the right thing by giving money to people who were kissing each other? I said, during 2010, FIFA World Cup, do you want to tell me that there were not people who were not kissing each other? The problem is that we didn't see them. Some of them came late. They said they even lied. Some of the so-called, tricky people said, no, we were still watching the soccer, whereas they were kissing each other. But on a lighter note, I'm just saying these are the kinds of projects that we fund. Well, the last one is sport and recreation. I think you might have heard your Minister Mbalula screaming that I want 200 million to do school sport and the like. You know, we funded SASCOC to make sure that Team South Africa goes to London. We gave them, I think it was 73 million to develop them. All these people like, you know, Oscar Pistorius and the like. It is the lottery money that made them go there. So that is sport and recreation. Well, there is a little one which is miscellaneous. It's not even, you know, a big amount. That is the money that the board sometimes, if they get an application which is not covered by those other three sectors, we can look at the application. So that one does not have an opening date and an end date. Always, when an organization feels that it is very, very important, this project needs support from the Lottery. Like, for example, the disaster last year around March, I think you know that there was a bit of disaster around Northwest, Northern Cape, Natal, and the like. Yeah, we gave them, I think it's 50 million, yes. We gave them 50 million in order to look at those things. So, basically, you as the club members and as an organization, I think what you are doing is part of what we are also doing. And I think going forward, when we know your programs and when we know where you are touching lives, you know, we are interested to come and address those people and open, you know, and give them information so that at times they can also apply, you know, funds. We don't promise that they will get everything, but you know, when you know that there's a community which is in dire need, there is a school which does not have a swimming pool or whatever, borehole and the like. Lottery is established in order to help such projects. We know we don't have a lot of money. The money that we get from the operator is very, you know, it doesn't go up and it doesn't go down. So every year we get something like 1.5 billion, which we put it in the trust in order to distribute it, you know, the year to come. For now, we are distributing the money that we collected last year. The money we are collecting this year, we will distribute it next year. And I think it's a very good job, but I've learned to realize that where there is money, there is a whole lot of problems, accusations, wanting to be entitled. In other words, when an organization submits an application, they feel no, it can't be rejected. And when you reject it, they don't know why. And when you give them, if last year you gave them 20 million, what they expect is more than 20 million, even this is double. So when you give them 2 million, they said, you know, this lottery is not good. This lottery is not good. So we are appealing to the public to say, let's give public communities the correct message. Everything that when you start small. And when you start small, with a bigger cake, you get more. Now, when I took over from December 2009, my mission was to say, we cannot allow only the same organizations to come and benefit. So we did what we call campaigns. We moved to all provinces. We did a lot of campaign, we told them, and now, all along, we used to get very few applications. Guess what? After our road shows, charity which used to submit plus minus 3,000 to 4,000, they submitted more than 8,000. Sports, you know, which we used to get something like, you know, 1,500, 1,600. We got plus minus 3, over 3,000. Agriculture, which was even lower, the lowest, lower than 1,000, we got, I think it's 1,700. All in all, for a 1.7 billion, these organizations together, they were 11,500. Yeah, 13,300 or 13,500. Now, if you use your mathematics, I didn't do mathematics, I did arithmetic. Now, arithmetically, even if you give it 1 million, you won't, they won't get all of them. So, it's a problem. The cake is this much, but organizations are bigger. And there are organizations that are, that are doing a lot of good work, like, Child Welfare South Africa, Necro and whatever. They are doing very well. But we can't maintain their standard. We used to give them 20 million or 30 million. You can't continue giving them that amount. You have to reduce it. But of course, in conclusion, what we are planning to do, we are coming up with a very good strategy, because all along we used to give them, maybe 20 million for 3 years or for 1 year. This time we are saying, when you come, make sure that the minimum number that you want us to fund you should be 2, and the maximum should be 4. So that the moment you come, when we give you money, we know problem number 1 has been solved. So this year you won't come to us. Somebody will come when you are busy doing your project. When you finish your project, the one that came after you will also be following you, finishing the project. So that when you come back to the cycle, at least we are able to budget and make sure that we assist this organization. Because on the other hand, we can't say we don't want to fund them. We have to fund them. They are our organization. They rely on us. International donors, I think they've already pulled away. It is a common fact that international donors are no longer funding our organization. They say South Africa is a developing country, so it can satisfy its NPOs. So yes, we are one. Whatever you are doing is part of what we are doing, and we feel from time to time when we have gatherings, we'll come and show you what is it that we are doing, so that at least you can go and tell some of the organizations that you come across in your communities and the like. I don't want to bore you with statistics and whatever, otherwise I will scare you that we receive this much, we distribute this much, but from the inception we have already distributed no less than 14 billion, over 15 billion that has gone to the NPOs, NGOs. Well, the question is, because it is the first of its kind in South Africa, I think we lack the mechanism of making sure that we do what we call tight monitoring, so that we can calculate how many jobs have been created by that over 15 billion. But with this new dispensation, we are making sure that every rent, every million will count for something that you can also be proud of. You can also go and say, the million that Lottery is talking about has done 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much for inviting us.
Thank you.